Hi guys, this week in reading we continue to expand on the idea of metacognition, which is thinking about our reading. So I wanted to take a little time to read you a story today where you could get a sense of how to work with your child on this at home. This week we introduced what we call Thinkmarks, and it's the idea of using sticky notes or any kind of notation inside the book to help them remember what their thoughts were while they were reading. These are the three that we introduced in my class this week. LOL means that they thought it was a funny part. The question mark thinks they thought it was confusing or they had a question about it. And the heart means it was their favorite part of the story. So today I'm going to read the story Otter Loves Halloween by Sam Garton. And while I read it, I'm going to use Thinkmarks and I'm going to think out loud or talk about my reading so that you can get an idea of what this might look like while you read with your child. Your child would also love this story about Otter and how Otter loves Halloween. Otter Loves Halloween by Sam Garton. I like all the candy on this page because it reminds me of Halloween and the candy we get at Halloween. Looks like Otter might wear some costumes. Halloween is the best holiday ever. Teddy and I have been waiting a very long time for Halloween. There were lots of things we had to do to get ready. There's Otter and Teddy, and it looks like they have some notes that they've taken and maybe a countdown. Here's the calendar he's looking at. I see that he's circled October 31st because that's the day of Halloween. I bet they're excited. First, Otter Keeper took us pumpkin shopping, but Otter Keeper is not very good at choosing pumpkins. Looks like Otter did not like the pumpkin his owner chose. Teddy and I found the right one eventually. It was very big, so we had to promise we'd help carry it back. So they're all in the wagon. They're sitting on top of and smushed by the pumpkin now. Looks like Otter Keeper is having a hard time pulling the wagon with the heavy pumpkin. I see a strain on his face, and those lines, they show me that he's having a hard time, and it must be very heavy. When we got home, Otter Keeper ran into a few problems carving our pumpkin. I wonder what it means to carve a pumpkin. I'm going to write this here and maybe I'm going to ask somebody, what does it mean to carve a pumpkin? I told Giraffe to help because Teddy and I had to start decorating the house. So Giraffe's going to help Otter Keeper carve the pumpkin. I see saws and hammers and drills and screwdrivers, and Otter and Teddy are gonna decorate, and it looks to me like they're making a big mess. We did decorate a few things we shouldn't have, but overall we did a great job. Finally, I had to organize everyone's Halloween costumes. I dressed as a super scary witch. I couldn't get my magical broomstick to work, but I looked really scary, so that didn't matter. Teddy decided to dress up as a scary mommy. We both agreed he looked almost as scary as I did. Look at Teddy. It looks like they're using toilet paper to wrap him up like a mummy. And I see that Otter has a book called Ancient Egypt where he's learning about mummies. Giraffe wanted to dress up for Halloween too, but I wasn't sure about his costume idea. Otter Keeper said you can dress up as whatever you want on Halloween. So Giraffe was a fairy. He really wasn't taking Halloween seriously. Everyone knows fairies aren't scary, so I added some teeth. I think this is a funny part, so I'm going to add that think mark there, or I can remember that I thought it was funny when Otter added those silly teeth to his fairy costume. I wonder why Otter thinks all the costumes have to be scary. We spent the rest of afternoon practicing with our costumes by scaring Pig. Teddy and I were very good at this. Giraffe was not, but it was his fault for dressing up as an unscary fairy. Finally, the doorbell rang. The trick-or-treaters were here at last. They look so excited and they have the candy ready. Ding dong. That's the sound of the doorbell. It was then that we ran into a problem. I wonder what their problem was. Oh, when I look at the picture, it looks like Otter is not happy. And I see the candy's all dumped over. The trick-or-treaters were very scary, almost too scary. I suddenly remembered I had lots of important things to do under the bed upstairs. I took Pig with me too. He was really scared. I was worried Halloween had been ruined, but then Otterkeeper had a little chat with us. We both felt a lot better. Then Otterkeeper had a clever idea. I was even allowed to help. When the next trick-or-treaters arrived, we were ready for them. Ding dong. Oh, look! They hid their faces so they couldn't see the scary trick-or-treaters. Our new costumes worked perfectly. These trick-or-treaters sounded even scarier than the ones before, but things are much less scary when you can't really see them. Ding dong, ding dong, ding dong. This was definitely the best Halloween ever. Until the trick-or-treaters stopped coming. Otterkeeper told me they had all gone home because it was almost bedtime. But I wasn't tired at all. So I made special costumes for everyone. It's a good thing we finished when we did. It was way past Pig's bedtime. He's saying it was past Pig's bedtime, but I see Otter has Z's coming up from him, which tells me that he is asleep. So he did get tired. It looks like they had a lot of fun prepping for Halloween and trick-or-treating. When I go back and I think about this story, this part right here is my favorite part of the book. It's my favorite part of the book because I think that even though they got scared, they problem solved and they had a solution where they could still enjoy Halloween with the trick-or-treaters. And I love that. They made a solution together. And so that is my favorite part of this story. So as you're reading with your children, take the time to talk about your reading, to talk about what you're thinking out loud, to ask questions about things that they might not understand, like carving a pumpkin. If they don't know what that means, go ahead and visit with them about what that might mean and help them with any confusion they might have. If you see Thinkmarks in your child's book at home that we've introduced at school from their book bag, talk to them about that and visit with them about what they were thinking and what their question was or why that might be their favorite part. Happy reading with your family, guys.